There is a moment in every man's life when he realizes something uncomfortable. The more he tries to hold on, the more things slip through his fingers. Love doesn't leave because you care. It leaves because you need. Neediness is invisible at first. It hides behind good intentions, loyalty, consistency, and effort. But psychologically, it sends a loud signal. I require you to feel whole. And the moment someone feels required, power shifts. Stoicism understood this centuries ago, not as emotional coldness but as emotional independence. The Stoic man does not detach to punish. He detaches because he refuses to make another person the center of his stability. And this is where the paradox begins. The moment you stop needing her, something changes in her. Not on the surface, but deep in her nervous system. Before, she was comfortable. She knew your attention was guaranteed. Your reactions were predictable. Your presence was stable, but not scarce. You checked in. You explained. You adjusted. You needed harmony. And harmony, when demanded, becomes invisible. But then, something shifts. You stop chasing clarity. You stop filling silence. You stop seeking reassurance. Not because you're angry, not because you're playing games, but because you no longer need her response to regulate your emotions. This is when she starts to feel it. At first, she doesn't understand it. Nothing obvious has changed. You're not rude. You're not distant. You're just unattached. And that unsettles her. Human attachment is wired around emotional feedback loops. When someone constantly reacts, explains, and reassures, the brain relaxes. There's no threat of loss, no urgency. But when reactions disappear, the brain searches. What changed? Did I lose value? Is he pulling away? And here's the truth most men never hear. Attraction does not grow in safety alone. It grows in uncertainty mixed with respect. When you stop needing her validation, your behavior becomes unpredictable but grounded. You're no longer emotionally loud. You're quiet, centered, self-contained. And that creates psychological gravity. She starts noticing things she ignored before. Your absence feels heavier than your presence ever did. Your silence speaks louder than your explanations. Not because silence is manipulation, but because silence forces introspection. Before, she didn't need to think about you. Now, she does. Stoicism doesn't say withdraw to control. It says detach to remain sovereign. You stop outsourcing your emotional state. You stop bending your boundaries for connection. You stop over-investing to secure affection. And something fascinating happens. She begins to invest emotionally. She asks questions she never asked. She seeks reassurance she never needed. She tests the bond to see if it still holds. Why? Because neediness creates predictability, and predictability kills tension. But emotional independence creates contrast, and contrast creates desire. When you needed her, she was the prize. When you stop needing her, the connection itself becomes the prize. This is why Stoic men are often misunderstood. People think they are cold, detached, unfeeling. In reality, they feel deeply, but they do not leak emotion without purpose. They do not chase emotional closure. They do not panic in distance. They do not collapse in uncertainty. And that stability creates imbalance. She feels more than you do. And in relationships, the person who feels more often feels weaker. When you stop needing her presence to feel grounded, she starts needing your calm to feel secure. Your non-reaction becomes an anchor. Your independence becomes safety. Your emotional restraint becomes authority. Not authority over her, but authority over yourself. And here's the final truth most men resist. This shift is not about making her chase. It's about reclaiming your center. Sometimes she steps closer. Sometimes she pulls away. Sometimes the relationship deepens. Sometimes it ends. But either way, you win. Because the moment you stop needing her, you stop negotiating your worth. And from that place, if she stays, it's desire. If she leaves, it's freedom. Stoicism teaches one brutal lesson in love. The less you need to be chosen, the more powerful your presence becomes. And the moment you stop needing her is the moment she finally feels you.